I was later working on a program after I was out of the Air Force, and after I'd already worked for RCA, I was working for Lockheed, and I was assigned to a program that dealt with photography, and I was a very good photographer. I had a photographer myself. I had extensive knowledge and background.
And you later worked on the shuttle cameras, too, so that's what you did.
Yes, actually, I worked on it before this case, but this case I was working on film photography at a section in NASA, okay? And one of my primary jobs, believe it or not, was to go attend all of the meetings having to do with the space station, and to be an Alex Jones on that, to stand up and raise heck and tell them that they could not have any film photography unless they put a lead-lined film safe as part of the structure of the space station. And that made everybody mad because I'd have to interrupt to do it, and they didn't want to hear it, especially after they heard it the first, second, or third time or something like that.
Yeah, here's a bigger picture of you, but that's out of the newspaper, and then the NASA newspaper, and then here is, which one are you here in this photo? Show people.
Right here.
Yeah. There we go.
Right there. Anyway, the problem with the film on the shuttle is that if you had a lot of solar activity, it would cause the film to be degraded. Both before and after exposure didn't make any difference because the cosmic rays and the radiation from the sun would go through everything and make streaks in the film, fog it out. And so film photography on the shuttle has been a problem. And
that's not even getting out towards the Van Allen. That's just the radiation that's not being absorbed by the water in the atmosphere. I mean, that's just the sun's radiation.
The atmosphere, way above the atmosphere.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. The atmosphere is what blocks out that radiation. So just the sun radiation, you're saying, is messing up the film. Imagine what the Van Allen would do.
Well, it's not only the Van Allen. The Van Allen captures or turns away from the Earth a great deal of the damaging radiation and particles coming from the sun.
That's what I meant, yeah.
But the Van Allen belt is about 400 nautical miles in altitude, approximately. It's a range of like 100 miles or something like that thick.
Well, my point was the shuttle's not up in the Van Allen,
no, it's not.
But it's still getting cosmic rays that are frying film.
Yes, you still get.
So we have proof.
You're getting cosmic rays sitting right here.
Exactly, but the on average 10 feet of water, if you condense it all, on average, gives you some shielding, correct?
Yes, you'll get most of it. But anyway.
But Raymond, the reason I raise this point, of course, you're the engineer, so correct me if I'm wrong, an electrical engineer. That the shuttle is below the Van Allen, but still just the solar and rays predominantly, and also galactic rays that are coming in, are still putting specks and lines all over the film. And so that's scientific proof that we wouldn't be getting clear photos from the moon, because it's going to go all the way out from space to the moon and back. And as a scientific test and proof of that hypothesis, you're saying, and we do know, and it's even been in the press, that shuttle film is fried. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, it depends on the sun activity as to where the solar flares, as to how much you get. You may not get almost nothing if the sun is very quiet, or if the sun is having a very high activity. Then you may very well wind up with the film that is very badly degraded. Now, I do have some pictures here, for instance, that would be very difficult to fake at the same time that were taken on the Apollo missions, like this right here. This would be very difficult, could be fake, but I'm sure was not.
Keep going, Raymond.
Okay, so I don't know why that they just didn't say, well, we don't have all of the pictures we'd like to have because probably the film was spoiled by the radiation.
Now, let's be clear. We have a frontline mission control fella. Here's Raymond in the document cam right there on your screen. He was there. He believes that that he was running a mission. Everybody there believed they were running a mission. He was assigned for the military over there. But he is saying that he ran the film cameras on other missions and, of course, RCA video cameras where they could get the footage. And he's saying that it's... Are you saying it's a lie? What are you saying, Raymond?
I'm saying that I don't know that personally that anything was faked, but at the same time, on a later job I had, a legitimate job, that there were real problems with getting film that was not radiation damaged. So you can't have it both ways, and I'll let you decide for yourself.
Well, talk more about that program that you were on with the specifics and what would happen with the film.
Okay, I did not develop the film. I know that there were problems, and we were told that we had to have a lead safe. Now, they had a lead safe on Skylab, which was at the end of after Apollo 13. It was launched on Skylab, on a Saturn V, and then later manned with another mission where supplies were taken up. And they did have a heavy lead safe on that for the film, and they kept the film in that, except while it was being out and put in a camera being used, they kept it in the safe. And they were supposed to do the same thing on the space station. Now, the space station, well, getting back into this, at the same time I was working on this, Kodak and the Naval Department was working on digital cameras. And it is involved into what you find in the stores now, that you can go into the photographic shops and Target and Walmart.
Stay there. We're going to come right back. And later, when you're working with RCA, you get an internal company newsletter about anti-grav, and then they try to shut it all down and cover it up. We'll be right back with Raymond Teauge. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. You're going to want to stay with us for this. Engineer on the Apollo program and a lot more. We'll be right back. Former German defense minister, former German technology minister, head technology minister, former head of German intelligence, Andres von Bülow, joining us in the next hour to expose the black op that was carried out on 9/11. Going back to my friend Raymond Teauge, electrical engineer. Raymond, why are you now, years ago I asked you to come on the show and you didn't want to do it, why now are you willing to come on the show?
Well, I'm frankly tired of all the lies and hypocrisy and the damage being done to this country by operations like 9/11 and what I see going on as far as our trying to control the world to take over all the areas that have oil for no reason when we could be producing our own oil. I have relatives in the oil field and know that we could be producing all the oil we want that is needed if...
well, Alaska's admittedly got more than Saudi Arabia.
If they would just turn it loose and allow someone to do it. And that's not the case. But anyway, there are other things about it. We're jumping around too much. Let's go back to the digital cameras. Okay, the camera business. While I was working with the film cameras for this department, I was also helping, or I observed anyway, the work being done on the digital cameras, which now you can go in and buy the finest machines for a couple of $100 will buy you a really good digital camera with many automatic features, and you can spend almost any amount of money you want on one. But anyway, you can get some very fine results, and they operate in near darkness. After I was out of the Air Force, and I went to work for the Radio Corporation of America when it still existed. It doesn't anymore. And they were the ones that built the cameras that were used on board the shuttle spacecraft. The cameras are very special. They had to withstand extreme vibration, high heat and cold. They had to be, they were remotely operated, and they were in all specs very special, and they cost $1 million a piece.